Welcome back to the Gardening with Joe and Holly radio show. Happy to have you around today. Thank you for taking a little time out of your day to join us. If you want to find out more about those sponsors you've heard and their coupon code availability, you can go to our parent website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, and click on the Money tab at the top of the page and Season 10 tab for all listings. Well, every time, there's the internet is a wonderful place for a lot of good information, but also a terrible place for bad information to spread rapidly. And that is what we find in the gardening world, that there are things in which that is shared for whatever reason that have no backing whatsoever. And now we have scientists to prove that there is no evidence that this works the way it has been presented. But yet, when you share the information from those scientists saying, hey, this doesn't work, the anger that other gardeners have towards you is very...
they just don't. They cannot.
I've been doing this for 10 years and the results are amazing.
They can't be convinced otherwise, basically. So there's a lot of claims for a lot of things, and sometimes it's not worth arguing with the old-timey...
Put the link up. Yeah. And, let them stew in their own disappointment.
Right. So there's this thing that banana peel water.
Yeah, banana peel water.
Is supposed to add nitrogen to your...
Potassium
to your plants, to your soil.
You soak the banana peels in water for a fill-in-the-blank duration period of time, and then you take that water that is supposed to be loaded with potassium, and you water your house plants or your in-ground, your plants, whatever, and the magic just begins.
Right. So, that's the idea behind it. But it comes down to there's no scientific evidence that this banana peel water, or just even sometimes banana peel itself, like if you think that you're going to put a banana peel around your plants and it's going to feed them potassium, is not a thing. Banana is 80% water, and so the claim is that the potassium level will increase by 42% with the banana peel water. Now,
if you want to find out where we're getting this from, you go to your favorite search engine and type in Garden Myth Banana Peel Water. Robert Pavlis, Pavlis,
I think so, yeah.
Who does this for a living. We've had him on the show a couple of years ago, and he studies this. He does this. He proves the evidence, and he takes from peer research studies from across the country and around the world, compiles the data along with his to prove or disprove these garden quote-unquote hacks or tips or whatever we want to call them.
Right. So the claim is that it's 42% potassium level.
Some sites say 42% potassium.
In this banana peel water. And it's not possible because the banana is 80% water, the banana peel. And
that's called fuzzy math.
Right. It's very fuzzy math. And also then it's like if you drink this water, it's good for you. You're going to do all this stuff. It has beneficial health things. But if you actually look at it, the important question is like, are these banana peels slightly, even significantly more nutritious than any other source of organic matter or beneficial than any other organic matter? But they're not. These are very vague claims. There's no science. There's no anything that indicates it has this nutritional whatever. It has this much. What does high mean? Does high mean high compared to
an arbitrary number?
Yeah.
So the MPK value of a banana peel is 0.6, 0.1, and 11.5. But this is the value of a dried skin, since all of the above values in what we're talking about is considered wet or soaking in water. So you calculate that out from the dry weight, and the MPK of a fresh banana peel is a fifth of that. He does all the math breaks down, but basically what you're getting if you soak banana peels in water is an MPK of 0.1, 0.1, 2.3 on a really good run, on a really good mixture of a high potassium, really rich banana peel.
Right. So that's the banana peel.
Now, here, a couple of things. If you soak your banana peels in water and think you're getting a wonderful benefit from them, that is called the placebo effect, because you are seeing an effect that you have created in your own mind. we're not psychiatrists or psychologists or whatever you want to call it.
It's basically, so the placebo effect is that you take this magic pill, banana water, whatever,
Right.
and you hear that it's going to make you
So there's
have more
subconsciously
energy.
your brain is already saying, I see an effect because I've been told by these sources
Right.
that it's going to do this. So now I'm looking for that. I can see it. I can see it.
And sometimes it's just like a weird correlation, like your brain tricking you, or in this case of banana peel water, you are probably just drinking more water. So you might have more.
So
you might have more.
Well, you're not drinking, you're watering the plants
Well,
with
right,
it.
but
Yeah.
some people do drink it. Yeah. But you're watering the plants, so maybe the plants need water.
Is it negatively impacting the plant's growth? No. Is it providing any value to it? Minute, if anything. So we can soak our banana peels. We can soak them for 24 hours, 36, 96 hours, and pour that water on our house plants or our seedlings, whatever. That's great. It may help minutely. The best situation for those banana peels is either ground compost, dig a trench, throw them in your compost bin, and let them break down into break them down with all the other scraps that you've got, your greens and your browns, and move on with life and just water the plants as you would without even any knowledge of soaking banana peels.
You save yourself a step there.
I mean, some people are like, I've already done it. We're just, facts are sometimes facts. And yeah.
Right.
Eggshells.
This is Joey's favorite myth.
There's a lot of different situations where people online say, do this with an eggshell for this purpose. Put eggshells down around your plant, and that will prevent slugs from attacking your plants. Again, we're finding this information from Robert Pavlis. How do you say it? Pavlis. Pavlis. You can go to eggshell garden myth in your search engine, and it'll pull this up.
Let's talk about this. So let's.
The eggshells do not have sharp edges like people have claimed. And he's done studies, and he explains this in this study where he's put eggshells around, and he's watched the snails and the slugs just slather right through them without any effect or slow down at all.
Right. So I think let's focus here on using them to feed your soil, essentially. So let's talk about that, because I've actually never heard the slug eggshell thing, but I think most people have heard about using it around their tomato plants or
Calcium.
whatever.
It's supposed to have
the
calcium and prevent blossom end rot and all this other wonderful stuff.
So basically, eggshells, so you got to think about what's in eggshells, right? So they do contain nutrients that are in plants.
Mm-hmm.
They do contain 34% calcium, 0.3% magnesium, 0.04% phosphorus, and 0.03% potassium. And then they also contain 0.05% sodium and 5% organic matter.
So they do have some elements of beneficial properties.
Right. So then when you look at an eggshell, they have the hard outer shell and the soft inner skin. And the inner skin is what contains the most organic matter. It can be even 5% higher if they're not washed out. So if you take an egg and you don't wash it out, it's going to have the higher organic matter. And then the organic matter contains nitrogen in the form of proteins, which is very useful to plants after they decompose. So if you are going to add eggshells to your garden, you want to not rinse them and just keep them as they are. I mean, you can break them up, but that's how you want to.
An eggshell
to do that
can take up to 18 months to break down. You will see this, and if you've been on social media at all in any garden groups, you will see, I've saved all my eggshells for 6 months, and they've got a gallon or 2 gallon jar full of pulverized powdered eggshells that they've dried and ground up into in a coffee grinder and put in this, and they're gonna put it around the plants or put it underneath the plants or whatever that case is. In any type of breakdown compostable material, the smaller the fragments of the item, the quicker it's going to break down, the sooner that value that it contains can be released into the soil for microbes to break down and to feed the plants. However, again, like the banana peel water, the amount of value that these eggshells contain compared to regular compost, compared to a bag of organic 358 or 273 compost is it really worth the effort of all the energy of drying the eggshell, saving the eggshell, pulverizing the eggshell, rather than just going out, taking 3 or 4 from breakfast and heaving them in the compost bin and letting it break down over the course of the time period in which it takes?
Right. So, yeah. So that's the eggshell situation for adding to your compost pile, using it as organic matter. There's this rumor that it helps with blossom end rot, and the rumor is that you add the eggshells to the soil for the tomatoes and eggplants, and the necessary calcium will prevent the blossom.
Will be taken up by the plant and prevent and cause the plant to grow fully and develop fruit without any black and sunken in bottom at all.
Right. So that's the thought, and that's not true. You would need to probably have the whole plant surrounded by eggshells. I'm not really
poundages
sure.
And poundages.
Yeah, pounds.
Well, he went on the program. He talked about people put tums underneath their tomato plants, and his study and other studies, you would need 80 tums per plant in order to get the correct amount of calcium released, and it's just a watering issue. It's
a calcium deficiency, but it is a watering issue.
Because
we should really talk about that, because so people aren't confused. You just want to make sure that you are watering consistently. A lot of people, what happens is people will plant their tomatoes. It usually gets rainy, and then all of a sudden most people get like a dry, not a drought, but like a dry spell, dry time period, and they don't think about watering properly, whatever, and that's when blossom end rot occurs, because the calcium is not, the plants are unable to pick up that calcium from the soil. So then that's when blossom end rot happens.
And when you water, the calcium now can travel and be ingested into the plant through the roots and the whole deal, and then the next set of fruit is fine. And I watered.
But they think that they added XYZ and that fixed it, but they watered it in.
Part of the placebo effect.
Right, exactly. So that's what blossom end rot is. You can add all the eggshells to your soil if you want, but either way, you still have to water your plants. And that's the thing, is people don't realize how important it is to water correctly, water frequently, water regularly, and do it the correct way.
Well, doing it the correct way is keeping the soil, the dirt, the sand, the salt out of your house, your cabin, your barn, with an American-made product.
So Scrusher has a durable shoe cleaner, outdoor shoe cleaner. It's a brush station that is built with a weather-resistant steel frame and black UV powder-coated finish for year-round use. They have a deluxe model. They have big boot model. They have all sorts of great models. You can put it outside any of your entryways. Just take your boot, shoe, whatever, run it through the Scrusher a couple times, and you will have a nice clean sole of your boot. If you go to scrusher.com and use code NOMOREDIRT5 to save 5% off and free shipping at checkout.